Hi, and thank you all for joining us today at our PMFRC Fireside Chat for the month of April. If you are part of the military community, you will know that April is the month of the military child and a really exciting time at the PMFRC and in our community overall. This is something that we are celebrating across Canada, and I think it's an opportunity for us to take a step back and recognize some members of the military family that maybe we don't talk about as often, but are just as important in that structure and in our community. I'm going to introduce the guests that we have here. We have joining us Colonel Jason Guinea, who is the commander of Garrison Petawawa. And we also have Chief Warrant Officer Addis Perez, who is the acting formation sergeant major at Garrison Petawawa. Sue LeClaire is our Children's Services Manager here at the PMFRC, and of course our regular guest, Derek DeRuiter, Executive Director of the PMFRC, all here to join us. Colonel Guinea, thank you so much for taking the time. This is, I know, a subject that is near and dear to you, families. When somebody joins the military, it's a decision that affects them, but really as your career goes, it really something that affects every single member of your family. Can you talk about a little bit to us about why the family and kids and children are so important to not only the military member, but really to our community as a whole?
Yeah, hey, thanks, and good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for the chance to speak. And thank you, a huge shout out to everything that all the Petawawa Military Family Resource Centers and all the MFRCs across the CAF do for our families, for our soldiers. We couldn't do what we do without you, and I know between the staff and the volunteers, thank you so much for everything that you provide for our families. And I think it's really it's awesome that we actually have a month dedicated to the military families because, when you walk around in uniform, people say thank you for your service and stuff like that. But I've been in a military family. I grew up in a military family. My wife and kids. My wife was a former serving member. My kids are military children, and it's kind of a way that we can thank them for their service. And I think you touched on it in your opening comments. We joined the military by choice. And General Rick Hillier once said, well, we're volunteers. Our families are conscripted into military service. And I think that's really true because when a soldier deploys, we're trained. We go through all this pre-deployment process and whatnot, but our families don't get any training, right? And I would argue, like I've deployed 6 times. My family has the hard part when I deploy, because how do you train your young kids to deal with the absence of the parents deploying or a loved one or a friend? And so everything we do, I think, as soldiers, we join, I think, all of us because we believe in what it is in service to our nation, in that higher purpose, in defending Canadians and whatnot. But it's really about our families, right? Because we love our way of life in Canada. And so really, I think anytime we go, it's about upholding those values so our families can have good lives here in Petawawa. And so military families, they're unique, they're special because we ask so much of our families. When we deploy, like I mentioned, it's not just the soldier that goes downrange, but it's the family that has to deal with the absence of that loved one who's overseas. Very common that soldiers or that CAF members are posted where we ask our families to leave the comfort, safety, like the known, uproot themselves, move somewhere to a different part of the country or a different part of the world. And that's a huge stressor. I mean, it can also be a huge adventure and a great life experience, but we ask so much of our families. And I think that is what is so unique about those who we serve with, not just those in uniform, but, as we say, the strength behind the uniform is our families. And I'm great that we have an initiative to recognize the strength and the sacrifice and the love and support from our families.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments. I didn't realize that you were also a military child, and I think among us, you are the representative that has actually been in the role of military child as well. So I really appreciate that perspective. Sue, you spend a lot of your time dealing with military children. You are the Children's Services Manager at the PMFRC and deal with military kids every day. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you see in your day-to-day dealings with children? Children tend to be so open about their experiences and their thoughts and their feelings. Can you tell us a little bit about what are the challenges that military children face and how they deal with them?
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, so I think what's really unique about our children is they don't know that they're unique, right? They're living this life. They're born into these families and they're just going about it day by day. And for lack of a better word, like they don't realize that they're living in kind of this disruptive state all the time, right? With family members working away, going on courses, exercises, being away from extended family, having to move frequently. That's their normal. And living that type of lifestyle really helps their problem solving, critical thinking, and they really truly are resilient. You know, that the dandelion is their symbol for a reason. But in saying all the benefits of being with this type of family is also what we call like the undue stressors that we see, right? So because of all this disruption in their life, really. Everything's always changing. So with young children, you might see a disruption in sleep patterns, eating habits changing, some aggression with toilet training, maybe a few more meltdowns. And really, that's all our kiddos are trying to tell us. Hey, my life's a little bit out of control right now. I have control with my body. This is how I'm going to get things under control. I'm going to be making some decisions here. And really, as educators and family members and people who care about these little ones, they just need that reassurance that, you know, everything's going to be okay, and that consistent routine, and, you know, that everything changes, but we try to help them label their feelings and give them those words to help them get through those processes. And I think we're very fortunate within our programs that most of our educators are either part of a military family, came from a military family, are actually going through all these same things. So really have that empathy with them. And for the family, whether it's staying 20 minutes later at the end of the day to talk to the parent that's still here, or, you know, just taking the time to go through that communication with the family. And for every child, it's different. And I can give you an example of one of our before and after school children. Her parents deployed, and he's been home for a little while. Now he's gone back, and just walking through the hall, she raised up her hand and gave me a high five. Halfway done, almost there. And we were like, absolutely, you've got this. And as she walked into the BAS program, she did it to every educator. So it's just that type of acknowledgement, right? We know how hard they're working to get through this, and that they deserve that acknowledgement.
We are so lucky in Petawawa to have so many fabulous military kids and so many fabulous educators and staff in our children's services programs. If you haven't had a chance, scroll through our Facebook page. We've been doing Teal Up Tuesdays, and we've been really highlighting some of the things that the kids are doing to celebrate the fact that they're military kids. And they're great photos to look at there. We have some tremendous little people in our programs. Derek, Sue was talking about some of the challenges and some of the ways that kids try to take charge of their lives in a time when they might feel a little bit out of control. In addition to children's services, the PMFRC also has a number of other programs that we offer to support kids through these challenges. Can you tell us a little bit about what some of those programs are?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Julie. And like you said, we have a really large children's service department, right? That looks after all of our daycare programs, includes our play troop program, which is one of the programs that's there as well. So they're really busy. Like Sue said, they experience all that fun stuff with the kiddos every day, and see that. But the other side of that too is we also have some different departments that do help out with the children and their needs and their challenges for sure. We have a mental health team that supports children and families, right? We have a youth counselor on that team who will help out the families and the children. And then we also can see them at our walk-in clinics if there's need. So we do those on the Wednesdays. We usually talk about those in these meetings as well, right? We run a support group for kids. So specifically for kids deployment, we run a support group that we go to the local schools. We try to meet them where they're at in their space so they feel a little more comfortable. We run that group so they can, you know, share their stories, share their experiences, and support each other, as well as have us help them out. We give out an emotional toolkit that has tools in there for them as well, and for families that they can utilize when they're in deployment or their members away, something like that. And then we always have a lot of different resources, a lot of different stuff that they can come in and see us and get for parents and kids at all of our locations, north side, south side. So yeah, it's like we always say, come in and see us. We'll help you, or we'll point you in the right direction. No door is the wrong door. And And yeah, we're here for the families more than ever, right? So.
If any of those programs seemed interesting to you or seemed like something that your child would be interested in, I'm going to put a link in the comment section underneath to our overall activities and events page, and also to the page where you can find more information about our services. So if you want to follow up with that, and like Derek said, give us a call. Even if you're not sure it's the right number, or maybe we're not sure that we're the people that can provide that service, we would love to point you in the right direction and make sure you get access to those services. In addition to those services and those activities, we also like to have a good party at the PMFRC to celebrate kids. And we do have a party coming up on Friday in celebration of Kids Teal Up Day. Derek, can you talk to us a little bit about Teal Up Day, what it means, and what's happening on Friday?
Yeah, so Friday, the 26th, at Southside. So typically we do our larger events over at Southside Community Center. From 3 to 6, we're going to host Teal Up Day, right? So we kind of use this as an opportunity to celebrate, recognize military children. It's at the end of our, military month or month of the military child. And it's basically looking at the unique challenges they face, right? So like everybody on the call said, they go through a lot of deployments, a lot of relocations, they lose friends, they're moving away from their friends, they have to go to new schools. It's a lot, right? And that's only a few. So we try to do what we can to recognize them, give them a day to celebrate, and recognize those challenges, right? Like a few of the stats that are kind of interesting that we looked up is, I just want to make sure I get them right. Military personnel spend an average of 24% of their time away from their families because of military related duties. So that's a lot, right? That's a quarter. I've got 66,000 Canadian military children experience some sort of absence from their parent each year, and 10,000 military families are posted each year. So the numbers are crazy. There's a lot of kids that are going through these things and dealing with these. So we want to celebrate them by using Teal Up Day, right? Teal, why do we use teal? Why do we wear teal? So you're going to see us, we're all going to have teal shirts on. Everybody's going to be wearing the color, right? It's really to recognize and incorporate all the colors of all the branches of our military, right? So we've got blue for Air Force, green for Army, and then we've got blue and white for the Navy, and you bring them all together and you get teal, right? So that's where the teal comes from. Sue mentioned the dandelion as well. You'll see those on our shirts, and why that's there and representing the children. So basically, it's the official flower of the military child, right? It's been said that military children are a lot like dandelions, as they can put down roots almost anywhere, and they're almost impossible to destroy, right? So just like dandelions, they can adapt, they can easily bloom anywhere and wherever the wind takes them, they like to say, right? So it's a pretty good symbol of what they go through and what they do. So as we'll all be wearing teal, we encourage everyone that's coming, if they have teal, I know sometimes it's a difficult color, it's not in everybody's wardrobe, but if you do, please wear it and come to see us on the 28th. We have lots of stuff going on. Just to highlight a few, we'll have all kinds of kids activities, crafts, and a photo booth if people want to get their pictures taken. We'll have treats, we'll have pizza for everybody that's there so that they can, if you're worried about dinner, there will be food there. There'll be some grab bags for people to go. We've got the military coming in with a few vehicles that the kids can check out and experience. We've got information on all of our programs if you're interested in finding more out. And then we'll have PSP will be there, health promotions will be there to help us celebrate and join us. And we do have new this year. We started, and I believe it's going up already, but we have a Teal Up art gallery that our children have been working on. So that'll be on the walls and the south side. So please come out and join us, rain or shine, doesn't matter what the weather is. We've got alternate plans for both, whether we're hoping for, fingers crossed, for nice weather, but if not, we can always do it inside. So come out and see us for sure.
I'm not even going to put it out there. It's going to be beautiful weather. It's going to be lovely out. We are going to be outside and it's going to be fabulous. So come and join us. We have an event page on Facebook, and I'm going to put that in the comments to get those details. But after work on Friday, don't go home. Come have pizza with us. Come celebrate. It's not a school night. We've got dinner taken care of. We would love to see you. It's been a busy year at Garrison Petawawa. We have had so many people going out the door and so many things that have been happening. Chief Perez, do you have anything that you would like to say directly to some of the military kids in our community about the last year and how much we appreciate what they've been through?
Hi, Julie. Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am super happy to be part of this forum this morning. What I want to say to the military kids in Petawawa that we know it's been a hard year with parents being away in deployments, but you play an important role supporting your family, adjusting to unique challenges faced, due to your parents' services. As Colonel Guinea mentioned, you did not sign up for it. We did it voluntarily and you came along for this ride, facing relocations, deployments, school changes, separations from your loved ones and close friends. This is just to name a few things that, were mentioned by Sue and everybody in the panel. Above all this, you always demonstrate remarkable resilience, adaptability, and strength to face all these difficulties. I would urge you to continue to use the MFRC programs and services and also rely on your military extended family because we're all here for support. Last but not least, your bravery, resilience, and strength are recognized, and I thank you for your support.
Thank you. Sir, I'm going to give you the last word. Is there anything that you would like to say on the topic of Teal Up or military kids or April being the month of the military child?
Yeah, thanks. I'd just like to close by saying to the kids is I grew up in a military family too. My dad was in the Navy. He was away at sea a lot. And I know like it can be tough sometimes, those long absences and moving to and having to leave your friends. But also too, what I got to tell you is at the end of it, like it's all a great experience. You meet people, you get to see new things. And we do ask a lot of you, but know that your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your siblings, they love you and you have each other. And you mean the world to us. And we thank you for all of your sacrifices and know that you're loved and that everything is going to be okay.
Thank you so much for that. I think that's a great note to end on. If you are listening to us, if you're watching this, you are, of course, invited to come to our party on Friday in recognition of military kids. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of our Fireside Chat. We hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.